represents purity, cleanness of purpose, thought, word, and deed.
The blue of our flag represents faith and loyalty, the eternal blue of the star-filled heavens.
Would everyone please be seated? Good afternoon. My name is John Sheehan. I'm the Scoutmaster of Troop 129 out of Portland. We'd like to start our Eagle Court now. I'd like to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Brian Gerke.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here for Jesse's Court of Honor. This is a fantastic turnout, so again, thank you very much. I know that he's very honored by your participation and coming to share his day-to-day. Before we get started, I just want to say a couple words, and some people have been around that I guess echoing what I've said before about Jesse and his character. Myself, again, my name is Brian Gerke. I am the Assistant Scoutmaster for the troop. I'm also the Cub Master for the PAC, as well as currently the Weeblos Den Leaders by the 5th graders. Jesse has worked with me for about the last 2 years, 2.5 years. About that time, I've been familiar with Jesse. Very just taken back by his leadership and the skills that he has, as well as how he works with and actually, like I said, works with the younger boys and makes them want to do better and be better. And I really have to give credit to Jesse and the rest of the troop for the work that they've done the last couple of years with the younger kids. Our numbers are up. We really have lost very few boys the last 2 years. Due to sports and other things, obviously there's other interests as they get older, and I think they're really excited as they get older to be one of these gentlemen. So with that, I want to thank Jesse and the rest of the group. Well, the parents of Jesse, our new Eagle Scout, bring him to his seat. At this point, Mr. Isaiah Powell, can come up and he's going to conduct our opening prayer for our ceremony today.
Great Master of all Scouts, you bring us together this evening to honor our Eagle Scout. We thank you for the opportunity for this moment. We acknowledge your guidance in helping our boys and adults work together to build leadership and appreciation of the outdoors. You continue to watch over these boys as they grow into young men and give the adults the patience and wisdom to guide them. And we thank you. Amen.
Now call Mr. Sheehan to come up to open this Court of Honor.
So, in with our tradition, I now declare this Court of Honor in session. Today we have the honor and pleasure of recognizing Jesse for the award of his Eagle rank. This is an important and serious matter. In full awareness of the challenge of these times, the parents and leaders of this candidate have labored long and faithfully to develop him to be an alert and to participate in citizenship through the scouting program. Their efforts culminated this afternoon in the presentation of his Eagle badge. The success of these efforts will become evident in the way this Eagle Scout will set in his social pattern for all the lives that he may be touching.
When a boy becomes a Boy Scout, there should be instilled with him that which we call the spirit of scouting. Because the spirit of scouting embodies the fine principles of the Scout Oath and Law, it becomes a shining beacon of inspiration. Alone, this may not be feeble. Alone, this may be feeble. But when multiplied by millions of boys in scoutings, it can become a very, very powerful indeed. After a boy has entered scouting, the Scout Law that he has promised to obey is put into effect as occasions may demand. And so, one by one, the symbols that stand for the parts of the Scout Law are demonstrated. There are 12 parts. All are important and meaningful. Each is an important cornerstone in the building of a strong character. A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And finally, in the 3 points of the Scout Oath, in which we heard during the opening ceremony, he promises on his honor to do his best, to do his duty to God and his country. To others by helping other people at all times. And to himself by keeping himself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. You see how the light from this spirit of scouting grows and becomes stronger. These, in outline, are the basic ideals of scouting to which each boy subscribes when he becomes a Boy Scout. It is, therefore, right and proper that we have made a careful review of the qualifications of these candidates in order that all may understand the completeness of our review. Our scouts will report on the candidates' qualifications to Life Scout. May Scout Representative Morgan Rose come up. Nice and loud, bud.
Our candidates on the Scout by understanding and promising to live by the Scout Oath and Law. They learned the Scout motto, slogan, salute, and handshake, and understood the significance of the Boy Scout badge. They also took part in a personal growth agreement in a conference with the Scoutmaster.
May Tenderfoot Scout Representative Jack Sheehan come up.
As a Tenderfoot Scout, this candidate was active in their troop and patrol. Learning the customs of our troop, he repeated from memory the Scout Oath and Law and demonstrated how we practice them in everyday life. Learning the basics of subjects such as first aid, citizenship, fitness, and leadership. He was ready for personal growth in the community conference with his Scoutmaster and a troop leaders counselor for review. He became a Tenderfoot Scout.
May Scout Representative James Dodson come up.
After showing Scout spirit and being active as Tenderfoot, he learned about subjects such as outdoor ethics, cooking, navigation, nature, and personal safety, while living the Scout motto, be prepared, and slogan, do a good turn daily. He moved on to have a personal growth agreement Scout with his Scoutmaster and a Troop Leaders Council year, and they became second-class Scouts.
May First Class Scout Representative John Dotson come on.
As second-class scouts, our candidates were active in their troop and patrols and showed scout spirit. They refined and expanded skills such as navigation, first aid, emergency, preparedness, and leadership. These are the boys that show that they are dedicated and display smiles showing that they are a friend to all. After having a personal growth agreement conference with their Scoutmaster and a Troop Leaders Council review, they became first-class scouts.
Will Star Scout Representative Jackson Wyden come on.
As first-class scouts for at least 4 months, our candidates were active and showed scout spirit in troop and patrols. They earned 6 merit badges and did service projects for at least 6 hours. They also served for 4 months or more in troop leadership positions, showing that they are capable of leadership. They are the scouts that stand alone and can improve on their own with little guidance. After a personal growth agreement conference with their Scoutmaster and Troop Committee review, they became Star Scouts.
May Life Scout Representative Caden Pelican.
Continuing along the scouting trail, our candidates were active as Star Scouts for at least 6 months and showed scout spirit and leadership. They earned 5 more merit badges, 3 of which were from required list for Eagle. After doing service projects of at least 6 hours and 3 of those being conservation related, they served in a leadership position for 6 months. These scouts have shown the world that scouting is their heart and they are dedicated to scouts. They have mastered the subjects to benefit their country and their fellow men. After having a personal growth conference with their Scoutmaster, they had a troop committee review and became a Life Scout.
To attain the highest rank in scouting, our candidate was active in the troop and in his patrol for at least 6 months, showing scout spirit and leadership. He earned 10 more merit badges for a total of 21, 12 of which were from a required list. He planned, developed, gave leadership to a service project which was helpful to our community. This is the scout that gave cheerful service to others and continued to inspire others through his strength and courage, prevailing the hard work it took to obtain this rank. He passed a troop and district board review. This afternoon, you will witness the presentation of his well-earned Eagle Award. Jesse, will you please place this on the top shelf? I will, as we do not have a ceremonial stool.
Jesse, you want to stop?
Jesse will now describe his Eagle project.
My project. A very long one, but one that was worthwhile. My project was a fire pit for the purpose of flag retirement ceremonies that we wanted to do at our local VFW because I saw a need for this project because our VFW could not retire them themselves. June 30th, was the project finish date of my project, saying it twice. But we had 13 workers in total, with those strenuous hours totaling over 130 hours in that day of building our project, which started with taking out the ground, preparing the land for it, raising it up with stone dust and dirt, compacting that all down, and then laying paver stones with landscape edging to create the stone paving circle that you see there you can walk upon, as well as building the 4 layers of the fire pit, brick by brick, in that day. We had 13 workers total, as I said before, and one of the main helpers for that project was probably the Cook Brothers. They're an excavating company, but they helped to prepare the ground for us and to make the project's biggest part easier to do. So when that project was finished, it was a long and hot day, I'll say that, but it paid off. We had our first flag retirement ceremony just last weekend, September 28th, and we got to use the fire pit for our retirement ceremony. And we retired probably close to 100, if not more, flags that day. And we will use the fire pit for flag retirement ceremonies in the future, trying to do 3 to 4 ceremonies a year. But I would like to thank the VFW, especially Commander Bill Olney, for giving me the opportunity to do this as my flag retirement ceremony project, fire pit project for flag retirement ceremonies, because I feel it reflects my character, and it was something that would be near and dear to me as a project that will be here, hopefully, when I am gone.
Webster's Dictionary describes an eagle as a large bird of prey with sharp vision and powerful wings, famous for their size, strength, grace, and keen vision. It is the national emblem of the United States, the bald eagle. Though the eagle is found throughout the world, he is never found in abundance. He is always rare, and he is always a superb specimen. In scouting, the eagle stands for strength and character. The eagle stands for knowledge of all phases of scouting. The eagle represents an understanding of community and nation and a deep respect for same. The eagle is a symbol of what a young man has done, as well as what the young man will do and will be when he grows to manhood. The eagle is a leader. The eagle is respected both by his peers and his adult leaders. Eagle Scout, please rise and come in front of the table. I would like to ask Scoutmaster John Sheehan to give the Eagle Scout a charge.
Would all Eagle Scouts please come up and stand behind Jesse? Jesse, you want to take a step forward so that they can stand behind you? Okay. Jesse, I want you to stand in front of these gentlemen, and if you guys can lay your hands on Jesse while he takes this oath. Repeat after me. I, Jesse Ward,
I, Jesse Ward,
reaffirm my allegiance
reaffirm my allegiance
to the 3 promises of the Scout Oath.
to the 3 promises of the Scout Oath.
I will do my best to do my duty
I will do my best to do my duty
to God and my country,
to God and my country,
to obey the Scout law,
to obey the Scout law,
to help other people at all times,
to help other people at all times,
and to keep myself physically strong,
and to keep myself physically strong,
mentally awake, and morally straight.
mentally awake, and morally straight.
I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself
I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself
the obligations and responsibilities
the obligations and responsibilities
of the rank of Eagle Scout.
of the rank of Eagle Scout.
I will at all times do my best
I will at all times do my best
to assist other scouts climbing the Eagle Trail,
to assist other scouts in climbing the Eagle Trail,
especially those of my own troop.
especially those of my own troop.
I will help build America on a solid foundation
I will help build America on a solid foundation
of clean living, honest work, and reverence to God.
of clean living, honest work, and reverence to God.
I promise to make my training and example,
I promise to make my training an example,
my rank and my influence
my rank and my influence
count strongly for better scouting
count strongly for better scouting
and for better citizenship in my family,
and for better citizenship in my family,
church, community, and country,
church, community, and country,
and with all my contacts with all other people.
and with all my contacts with all other people.
I realize that the Eagle rank
I realize that the Eagle rank
is not the end, but the beginning.
is not the end, but the beginning.
To this, I pledge my sacred honor.
To this, I pledge my sacred honor.
Will all the other Eagles please be seated? You get to stay.
Oh, you get to stay? Yes. Will the parents of Jesse please stand behind their son? Well, stand beside your son. Or in front, either way. Will John Sheehan, Scoutmaster of Troop 129, please come up and present our new Eagle Scout with his medal?
Thank you.
With his mother, please present our new eagle with his patch. Would his father please present our new eagle with his certificate? Will the mother please affix the Eagle Scout neckerchief to our new eagle? May his father please award our Eagle Scout with his Eagle Palms. new Eagle please present his parents with the parents? Well, now is the opportunity that the Eagles' parents have to comment. She's first.
It's been amazing to see Jesse grow up into what we have today. Starting when he came home with such excitement at the end of kindergarten, stating how he was going to join, he was going to do this. And it didn't matter what task he had. It could have been just sweeping off the float or just getting stuck with the little rent jobs. He loved every minute of it. So he continues that. Just anything he's asked to do within scouting, he does. Not always at home. But it's just been amazing for me to be such a part of his life like this, and it's just amazing.
Well, I get to go back there too. It is amazing because the scouting program has given Jesse the opportunity to learn so many valuable things. And all the kids that are here today are so privileged to be a part of the troop that Jesse's in, because they have tremendous leaders that have helped inspire Jesse. But I've watched him since first grade. I cannot take much credit for his accomplishments. He's always been self-motivated, self-driven, and it was so common to be sitting at the dinner table at night, and Jesse would begin to talk about the country and talk about history and say, do I have to take notes on this? Will it be a test tonight? But, I thought sitting with, a historian most of the time. He loves our country. He's an amazing kid, and he's fortunate to have had a mother who stuck by him since first grade, got into every meeting, every activity, and it has been there for him. I just don't have many words to speak today. Very thankful. Okay.
Our Scoutmaster, Mr. Sheehan.
Okay, so this is where I get to go off script. I enjoy this part. So, as you may be figuring out, this is a big deal. And I was present for Jesse's Eagle Border Review, where he actually earned the rank, where he was actually, or not awarded, yet awarded the rank, but he earned it at that point. He was approved by a group of adults who questioned him and assured that he had done the work that was appropriate to earn the rank. So, of course, I didn't want to keep this one quiet. So the next day at work, I go into work and I start writing letters. I start writing emails, and I have 11 responses so far, including a couple that are here today, such as this. Congratulations on receiving your the Boy Scouts' highest rank, Eagle Scout. This is honor and testament to your hard work and dedication over several years, and you should be proud. In earning your Eagle Scout badge, you have demonstrated outstanding qualities of leadership and dedication. Your achievement speaks highly of you and the people you chose to surround yourself with, who have helped you along the way. Your outstanding example of what hard work can do and will inspire others to follow your example. Major General Paul Rogers, Michigan Army National Guard. Dear Mr. Ward, I was delighted to learn that you have conquered the rank of Eagle Scout, the highest according to the Boy Scouts of America. This achievement is due to your perseverance and dedication to scouting, along with the encouragement of your scout leaders and family. You should be proud of your accomplishment. You are much admired for your hard work and commitment to scouting, your school and community. I join your family, friends, and scout leadership and troop in congratulating you in this honor. Sergeant Major Catherine Farrell of the Michigan Army National Guard. Dear Jesse, congratulations on earning the rank of Eagle Scout. This significant accomplishment is a testament to your remarkable commitment and leadership skills and places you among the members of a very distinguished group of Boy Scouts. I am sure your family, friends, and mentors are very proud of you. That's William Clay Ford Jr., Executive Chairman Ford. Jesse Ward, dear Jesse, congratulations, Jesse, in achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. This is quite a noteworthy accomplishment and well deserved. The VFW is a strong supporter of all the scouting programs, and we take great pride in recognizing deserving youth like yourself. Keep up the outstanding work and good luck with your future and whatever goals you may hope to achieve. That was William Doc Schmitz, the Commander-in-Chief of the VFW. I also have letters from President Jimmy Carter, George W. Bush, the Governor's Office, let's see, the Blue Angels, also the Air Force, the Department of the Air Force also sent a certificate. Included in these are some distinguished individuals that we invited here today. Would Mayor James Barnes please come up, and he has a presentation for you as well.
I can get behind here. First, I apologize for my phone call. My wife is in Florida. My father-in-law is in the hospital, so I'm trying to keep in touch with them. So I apologize for that. Boy, it's an honor. It's always an honor for me to be involved in ceremonies like this, and I've been in like 4 of them. The thing that really takes the air out of the room is this guy. I can't help but keep looking up and expecting him to move. But I would like to read the proclamation that the city has for Jesse, and I'll tell you, when I first met him, he's a special guy, and you can always tell when somebody is just coming up and talking and just like distracted and whatever, but Jesse's very focused, and he was very in the moment, and he was very articulate, and it was a pleasure to meet him. The City of Portland Mayoral Proclamation recognizing Jesse L. Ward. Whereas the Boy Scouts of America is one of the nation's largest and most prominent values-based youth development organizations, building character, personal fitness, and training young people about the responsibilities of citizenship for nearly 110 years. Whereas Boy Scout Jesse L. Ward from Troop Number 129 has been recognized by the Boy Scouts of America for successfully completing all requirements for Eagle Scout, which is scouting's highest rank. And whereas the United States Flag Code states, the flag, when it is in such condition that it is no longer a fitting emblem for display, should be destroyed in a dignified way, preferably by burning. And whereas the Eagle Scout project completed by Jesse L. Ward was the creation of a fire pit at the VFW Post 4090 and the American Legion Post 129 in Portland for the ceremonial burning of flags. And whereas, as the duly elected mayor of the city of Portland and as a member of the Portland community, I wish to join family, friends, and neighbors of Jesse L. Ward to recognize him on his attainment of the rank of Eagle Scout. Now therefore, I, James E. Barnes, Mayor of the City of Portland, Ionia County, Michigan, am proud to present this mayoral proclamation to recognize and congratulate Jesse L. Ward, Eagle Scout, for this outstanding accomplishment and extend to him my deepest appreciation for all of his dedicated work and wish him the best in all of his future endeavors. Proclaimed this 6th day of October, 2019. If I may briefly, there's three things I think about when I think about these Eagle Scout issues. The first one is the scout himself, where the scouting allows him to get his hands dirty and actually distracts him from the smartphones and all the things that are going on. So thank you, scouting, for that. The parents' dedication. Back in the late 50s, early 60s, I was thinking about, hoping about being a scout. My mom was a school teacher, so she worked all day, and my dad worked the nights. So there was no way that that 5-mile trip back and forth was going to be done. So unfortunately, I didn't get to participate, but thank God for the parents that are willing to take that sacrifice and be involved in it. Well, it's bittersweet that he's done with this thing that is such a huge part of his life. I was happy to hear the comment that this isn't the end, this is the beginning. But that brings me to the point, the third point that really involves the community. Because the people that go through scouting have a ripple effect on the community. And that can only help to make things better for everybody that lives in a community like Portland, where you will be, and you'll be having your effect on Portland. Lastly, I wanted to present to you, and the reason I wanted to read all those whereas is because if you notice, 129 occurs a couple of times. It's obviously the troop number, but it's also the post number for the VFW. And then through this process, I learned that your troop number is numbered after the American Legion post that was the original sponsor for the Boy Scouts in the city of Portland. So, the other day we were down at the community days, and we were selling our commemorative sesquicentennial coins, and I asked Jesse what number he would like. And with very short hesitation, he said, 129 if you've got it. And then I'm like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So on behalf of me personally, I would like to award you with commemorative coin of 129.
Also, this afternoon, Representative Billy Gelly, would you please come up?
Good afternoon. I bring with me a tribute from the state of Michigan, signed by our governor, lieutenant governor, myself, and your state senator, Dr. John Bison. This recognizes a lot of the tributes that you've already heard, a lot of the attributes, excuse me, that you've already heard, so as a result, I will not read it. You're welcome. But I do want to point out one small element that I think is very indicative of our Eagle Scout. He overachieved in raising money for his final project. And after doing so, and after completion of the project, then gave the rest of the money to the VFW. And I thought that was such a great picture of you and your service throughout. I also want to echo the mayor's sentiments in congratulating the parents and Scout leadership. He could not be here today without you. So I love that Eagle Scout ceremonies include you. Because there may be no ceremonial stool, but the only reason he's here is because of you. It's my understanding that there are characteristics specifically of an Eagle Scout. And if only more of us would live under these, listen to them. To live with honor, to be loyal, to be courageous, to be giving in service, and to have vision. characteristics. Scouts. I'm gonna put you under some pressure. Does anybody know the one U.S. president who was also a scout? Of course, it's a Pelican.
Was it Gerald R. Ford?
Ding, 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 we have a winner. Very well done. Also the only president from our great state. My words are nothing in comparison to his. So let me close with some words from Gerald, our president, and the only president who was a scout. I happen to believe that the ideals and the aspirations of all Americans and all Boy Scouts are one and the same. And I will continue to use those ideals as a guide and as a compass in all of my official duties. I think our goal ought to be, or should be, more Boy Scouts in government, not less. Might be a pathway for you gentlemen. In most Americans, there is a spark of idealism which can be fanned into a flame. Scouting is one of those things that keeps that spark of idealism alive, that plants it in the hearts of young Americans while preparing them for manhood and citizenship. And it is in that spirit, Jesse, that I also have a gift for you. It's a compass. Not because I think you now need a compass. A little late for that. But it's a symbol. Because all that you have learned to achieve the rank of Eagle will indeed give you direction in life. Congratulations.
As our illustrious Scoutmaster said, it's the chance to go off script. I guess before I go off script, because I'm good for that. Is there anybody else who would like to have any words for Jesse?
So, I didn't even have a script. I have no script to go off of, but to be completely honest here, did anyone not expect this to happen? Of every single scout I've ever met, Jesse is just the one that screamed Eagle Scout from the first day that I met him. It's like, he just goes above and beyond going above and beyond. He does everything. He's worked with Cub Scouts, he's worked with us. He's basically the official mom friend of the entire troop. He's basically our collective common sense. But he still knows how to have fun. And he's actually made scouting a lot of fun for me. And I'm going to be there too at some point, so good job.
Anyone else like to say anything before I go on my long throw? I'm pretty good at this. Okay, well, I'm gonna come around the front. I know, scary, right, guys? And this is the last chance I'm gonna have to be able to embarrass Jesse until he's my peer here shortly. But a couple things. As I started out, one, I said I had just remarkable opportunity to be able to work with him for the last, like I said, about 2.5 years. But more than that, being asked by Jesse to be the Master of Ceremonies has probably been one of the most humbling things and most honorable things that anybody's asked of me. So I definitely greatly appreciate that. Thank you, sir, that you thought enough of me to ask that. But with that, I know just the last couple of years, even when Jesse came to assist the Cub Scouts and actually became the den chief for Mark, who are now our Scout rank Scouts. When they were in Cub Scouts, I think one of the ranks or one of the requirements was coin collecting, and Mark has a passion for coin collecting, and obviously Jesse shared with him. So to watch that has been really amazing. So to steal someone's thunder and to kind of plagiarize what they were doing, I was talking with his parents, and they're talking about some things that Jesse would like, and something that would mean a lot to him. And they were should we get this, should we get that? And without hesitation, I kind of stole their idea. I knew it was something that Jesse would like and something that he would absolutely want. That would mean something to him, and it really meant a lot to me to be able to get it for him, which was the 2010 Boy Scouts of America Centennial Silver Dollar, which this one is actually the proof. So, so we have our certificate of authenticity. That's easy for you to say. And then in this is the proof. So again, I just watching the interaction between Mark Clough as a leader and Jesse as his den chief, and then just as he's been talking about coins and checking dollar bills for irregularities and other things that I've seen and heard about. I thought this would be something that he would absolutely like. So with that, I could sit up here and talk about him and particularly a lot of the rest of these boys for quite a long time. Just really a great honor to be able to work with these guys. So that's it.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Ward.
All right. So, you guys want to be here to listen to like a 2-minute speech? It's not going to happen. I had to type my speech, and I spent hours writing this. And you can say, well, why'd you write a speech? I mean, good speeches come from the heart. But just to say, some of the best leaders in America, presidents including them, they write all of their speeches. They maybe memorize some and write some themselves, maybe pay other people. I assure you, I wrote this, I didn't pay anyone. So I have probably just a long speech, but it took me a long time to write this. But I assure you, every word I'm going to say is the truth, and I am proud that I can say these words here. As I stand up here, the first thing I'd like to say is thank all of you. Thank you all for helping me and supporting me on my journey to Eagle. It was not an easy journey in any way. There were hardships, and there were times where I did wonder if I could do it. Of course I did always have the goal of becoming an Eagle. There was always doubt involved in long and hard obstacles that have to be overcome. With this, I'd like to thank my parents. They have helped me so much on my path to Eagle, giving me encouragement and supporting me on my path. I remember when I was young, my mom took me to every Cub Scout meeting that we had. I wouldn't miss a single one, neither would she. That pretty much continued all the way up to Boy Scouts. You know how we get conflicting things. I started working for the track team for our school, so that took a little bit of scout time here and there. But she came to me and stopped me because she is on our committee as long as my father. But my mom's probably been to more scout meetings than I have now. Just gonna say that. But my mom always drove me wherever I needed to be, whether it be out to Sessions Lake to help with Cub Scouts, on a Cub hike, or it was downtown to help with any city events or volunteering, or just any other scouting activity. I remember when I was young, and it was also time for the Pinewood Derby. The Pinewood Derby is a small little race that involves little wooden cars that the Cub Scouts do. And I know that my dad's a pretty busy guy, but he always helped me on my derby car. Every year, he always would help me. He wouldn't do it for me, but we maybe bounce ideas back and forth, and he'd show me how to use the tools and such to make it. He wouldn't do it for me, but he guided me and helped me to make all the wacky designs I wanted. My fastest car that we worked on was a dog. It was made after my dog Max. He was a dachshund. My dad and I worked on a cool car each time, but we tried to have a fast one too. I remember we made the Titanic. We made a bullet train. We made a car, of course. But after Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts don't make cars usually. So the tradition quickly disappeared, and it was sad. But we had that opportunity opportunity as Boy Scouts, and we do now to race as Boy Scouts, just as kind of friends of the pack. And I know that I remembered what to do to make this car fast and look cool. I built it off of a ship in the Civil War. 1964, I believe it was sunk in 12 minutes, and it's called the Kiowa. It was an ironclad, and it was sunk by the Confederates using underwater torpedoes, which we would call mines today. But I remember it was done in Mississippi. We visited it while we were down south visiting my family. And they took me to the Vicksburg National Veteran Memorial Site and Park to look at all these cool things in this massive ship. It was amazing. But because of those experiences that I had with my dad working on cars, I was able to build one by myself. The point is I'm trying to make here is that the most important people in my scouting career were my mom and dad. The most important people in your scouting career are going to be your family. They offer the encouragement and excitement that keeps you going. They give you the advice to keep you moving on your own. And to that, I would like to thank my parents again so much for the experiences that I had with them and how they helped me to become the scout that I am. All it takes is small experiences when you are young to change who you can be. Now, to change who you can be also involves what you put into scouting. I have a message to all scouts. This is my advice and words of wisdom for those who aren't Eagle or question if you want it, or are simply here just for fun. If you want Eagle, do it for yourself. Because if you want it, you will get it. Eagle Scouts are the ones who can live the Scout Oath and Law, not only in their scouting career, but they take an oath to live it for their life. Others, they push you to get it, but in the end, it is only up to yourself if you will get it and if you want it. It is still okay, though, if you do not make it. 98% of scouts never reach the summit that I do today. But still, they find value. They find value in scouting. You can still find the fun, the learning, and the brotherhood in scouting without earning the rank of Eagle. You can still be a great person and do service to others. But if you do want Eagle for yourself, make sure you can live the ideals of the scout. Make sure you can live the ideals of what an Eagle Scout is by living it through your everyday life. Not until you age out, but until you pass your skills on to the future scouts and citizens of the world. Until you pass on to the next step in life. As I live as an Eagle and have worked for it for over a decade of my life, there is always influence that can be made on me and anyone else. Just because I was at my last step doesn't mean I didn't gain anything from the new people around me. I'd like to ask my Scoutmaster, Mr. John Sheehan, and my Assistant Scoutmaster, Mr. Brian Durkee, to come in the front of the table at the end here. Mr. Sheehan, you came to our troop as I was a Life Scout, but now I get to lead this troop as a youth, as an Eagle with you. It has been almost 2 years, but as the Baden-Powell quote goes, show me a poorly uniformed leader, and I'll show you a poorly uniformed troop. This quote also means that if you show me a properly uniformed leader, I will show you a properly uniformed troop. This quote, though, just doesn't stop at the uniform, but it also shows how the leadership act and should function. You have shown me and the rest of our scouts what the ideal leader looks like. You have helped bring this troop from going outside of no meeting plan every day to having a plan or activity to every meeting. It has helped me to see what better I can do for myself as a leader, though you never had to tell me. This troop is now becoming a scout-led troop because you taught us how to do exactly that. You help to bring us success to our futures through your example of the leadership that you provide us. Mr. Durkee, I have known you now for over 2 years. I came to you as a Life Scout wanting to be a den chief to help the next generation of Boy Scouts to our troop. You pointed me to the path of who I would lead. After that, I didn't want to go. Your excitement and enthusiasm for scouting keeps me going, and I feed off of it. Now, I get to be the Eagle Scout that gets to continue working with the next generation and helping them on their path to scouting, like you do to me and many more. Now, if you thought I was going to leave you out of the nice Baden-Powell quote, don't worry. Mr. Gerke, as Baden-Powell states, the spirit is there in every boy, but it has to be discovered and brought to light. You help me to unveil that spirit. You help the boys around you find that spirit within them to strive to become better scouts, as you brought the spirit to me. Although you both, Mr. Sheehan and Mr. Gerke, have different attributes, you both help in a great amount to molding our future scouts, to living the ideal leaders, and creating the excitement for the scouts we will see and that you impact every day. I want to thank you both for coming to our troop in a time of need for your leadership. And I want to thank you for showing me what true leaders can be, as well as the talks that we had while working together, along with the memories we shared together. Because I want to give you both something that means more than just the name it has. It means that you are both the ones that gave me something to become. It means you are both there for the bits of help that I have needed. It means that you are there and you were the people that I could sit next to talking to about scouting activities and merit badges in order to better myself and prepare myself for my future in leadership. And as a citizen, with the expanse of knowledge I have obtained from you both. As I approach you both, I will now award you with a mentor pin each, symbolizing the bond and the impact that you have made upon me in our years together, and I thank you immensely. I would like to thank both these men for their hard work with our troop. Although it's only been just 2 years-ish, they have made a huge impact on our troop and our boys. And I look forward to seeing this troop grow to maybe even 40 scouts someday, because I know it will. Because with these leaders, we're going to keep going forward strong, and we're not going to lose scouts because they have these examples to look up to that will help them with their everyday life as becoming Eagle Scouts. And to that, I thank them with much gratitude.
Okay, well that was unexpected. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for being here today. Again, what a great ceremony. This is my first Eagle Court of Honor that I've been able to attend. When I started out as a young boy, I was a Cub Scout, if I can remember, either first grade or second grade, and then I moved school systems that did not have Scouts. So having the opportunity to get back involved with the boys at all levels the last several years has been probably one of the greatest things of my life. So being able to work with Jesse, to be here for his Court of Honor, to get a mentor pin, and to be his mentor ceremony has been, like I said, quite humbling. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody for being here today. What a fantastic turnout, what a fantastic day. I look forward to more of these in the future. I think, again, I definitely see more Eagles as I look at this young crop of boys that is coming up. So, just fantastic group to work with. Isaiah, can you come up and conclude our ceremony?
the scouts please rise? Scout sign of reverence. May the great master of all scouts please be with us until we meet again. Two.
Is there anyone else that has any announcements or anything before we move on? Okay. Well, again, thank you so much. Again, thank you to our distinguished guests for being here today and their presentations. Quite phenomenal. Thank you so much. If you would like to move back to the tables, and we can get some food. And again, thank you so much for attending our ceremony today.